JSP colon params this is yesterday, like number 1, 2, 3, 4 written, I think. JSP colon something you written yesterday, JSP using applets. 1, 2, 3, 4 number you written. Otherwise, just write it. Third tag, or I've written numbers for a plugin one, fallback to written. No, that's what 3 write it better. In yesterday, that is not completed. That is only I'm continuing. This third. JSP colon params here param. What is param? I'll explain. Here no attributes. Here we have tried param actions. What is param? I'll explain. JSP colon params open, JSP colon params close. In between JSP colon param actions. It is open tag, it is close tag. In between param actions you are right. No attributes here. This action must be inside the plugin action. I'll give first is it over. No done. This action must be used in JSP colon plugin action only. This action must be used in JSP colon plugin action only. I'll explain. Listen the class, write the notes. Listen the class and write the notes. This action must be used in plugin action only. Now, see what I given params. It will allow to write param. Now param I'll explain. Fourth one, JSP colon param. It is used to specify the parameter with name and value. It is used to specify the parameter with name and value. Syntax. JSP colon param. Here attributes. JSP colon param. JSP colon param. Here attributes you can write. I'll explain. Just write the notes and listen the class. JSP colon param. Here attributes. Param close. Here param attributes. So it is open tag. It is close tag. Instead of this, open and close at a time. Here attributes we have tried. Attributes. First one name, second one value. First one name, second one value. It is name of the parameter. It is value of the parameter. Name of the parameter, value of the parameter. Is it over? See, example. JSP colon param name equal to suppose message. Value equal to suppose welcome. All right. Now this parameter can be retrieved in applet by using the following method of java.applet.applet class. Public string get parameter string. So in JSP, you can declare parameter that can be retrieved in applet. That purpose we use. JSP colon param name equal to message, value equal to welcome. This parameter can be retrieved in applet by using the following method of java.applet.applet class. With this method, name you can pass here, value comes. This value you can display in browser window with applet. JSP runs in browser or server? Server. Applet runs in browser. JSP is alternative to Solid. So it runs in server. Now JSP can declare parameter. The parameter you can send to applet browser. That purpose this concept. Param. This action must be used in JSP colon params action. Params action only. This action must be used in JSP colon params action only. This action must be used in params action only. Is it over? Now, param. Here, I give an example. JSP colon param. Name, value. It is just like a attributes. In a Solid's attributes study, no, that type. And our request parameters, our initialization parameters, our context, that type. That type, name and value pair will be there. This is you have to write inside the params. Params you have to write inside the plugin. So plugin at the root tag. Inside the plugin params. Params in a inside the params param. Like that you have to write. So complete example I'll show you. Example. Say, now don't write, just listen. Is it over up to here? Say, total 9 actions are there. 9 actions. In 9 actions, this is for forwarding. This is for including. It is equivalent to solid forwarding. It is equivalent to solid including. This is for Java Bean. But actual Java Bean usage, I'll teach in MVC. This is for applets. It is not important because applets already outdated. Just I'm giving interview purpose or written test purpose something. Just description I'm giving. Applets already outdated. No one will ask. Now, params. Yesterday plugin I covered. Fallback I covered. Plugin, if you want to include the applet, plugin. If you want to display user-friendly error message, fallback. If you want to pass parameters, param. That is your trade inside the params. This is your trade inside the plugin. This is also your trade inside the plugin. So yesterday I given plugin and param, plugin and fallback. Now params. What this will do? It allows to write param actions. It is syntax open, close. In between params you can write. Here no attributes for this. This action must be used in plugin action only. Param, you to specify the parameter value name. Now, I'll give complete example. You observe. Here, JSP colon plugin. First, you have to write this one. JSP colon plugin. JSP colon plugin. Like this. Plugin open, plugin closed. In open tag only, we'll write attributes. Open tag only will write attributes. Here attributes are given. Type equal to, code equal to, width equal to, height equal to. Suppose example demo package, in that my applet class is there. Assume. This applet, how many pixels width you want? Suppose 400 pixels. How many pixels height you want? 400 pixel. In a browser window, 400 pixels width to 400 pixels height. In that area, demo package my applet class loaded. That is loaded like a applet type. While loading this applet, if any problem occurred, one user-friendly error message. One message. User-friendly error message, unable to load an applet. One message. Now, here what will happen? In the browser window, 400 pixels width, 400 pixels height. In that area, my applet class loaded. That is in demo package. While loading, if any problem occurred, this message comes. Unable to load an applet. It is error message. User-friendly error message. Now, here, JSP colon params. JSP colon params. From JSP, I'm sending one parameter. Param. Here. Name of the parameter. Suppose message. Value of the parameter. Suppose welcome. Now, this JSP will pass the parameter to my applet class. In my applet class, you have to call get parameter. This name you have to write. This message comes. Then it will display in browser window. That purpose. It is not important. No need to worry. Applets long back only outdated. Okay. Just write this example. So demo package contains my applet class that is loaded as an applet in 400 pixels width, 400 pixels height area. This message passed to applet in the applet window displayed. So applet program I have to explain to understand this one. It is outdated, leave it, not important. Okay. But again, core Java concept that is, I have to explain. But applet's outdated. In future, this plugin may be used for other purpose. That is the reason I given. Okay. Is it over? Next heading, JSPEL. JSPL, JSTL, MVC, reflection API. These four concepts left. JSPEL, JSTL, MVC, reflection API. Note, JSPEL stands for Jakarta server pages expression language. JSPEL stands for Jakarta server pages expression language. JSPEL introduced with the JSTL in JSP 2.0 version to simplify the JSP. JSPEL introduced with JSTL in JSP 2.0 version to simplify the JSP. Here. So this concept both at a time came. Okay. JSTL stands for JSP standard tag library. JSTL stands for JSP standard tag library. JSPEL can be used independently and it can also be used with JSTL. JSPEL can be used independently and it can also be used with JSTL. JSTL stands for JSP standard tag library. JSPEL can be used. See, this concept, two concepts introduced in JSP 2.0 version to simplify the JSP. Only this one you can use independently. This one you can intermix with JSTL also. Both possible. So expression language, what is expression language? I have to explain. Expression language introduced with standard tag library in 2.0 version to simplify the JSP. But only independently we can use this one. You can also mix with this one. Both possible. Next. By using JSPEL and JSTL in a JSP becomes 100% tag-based application. By using JSP-EL and JSTL in a JSP becomes 100% tag-based application. That means every statement appears like a tag, 100% tag-based application, just like HTML appears. By using JSP-EL and JSTL in a JSP becomes 100% tag-based application. See, already some JSP programs you have seen. Those JSP programs I'll open, you observe. You observe JSP. Here, on JSP program, database connection I given, no? That program name what I given? Which one? Login. Login.jsp, right? See, this program, it appears like a solid, it appears like core Java, no? You observe? The maximum core Java type appears. Okay? See. But recently, Java Bean programs you have seen. Bean programs. Here. You observe? Every line appears like a tag. It is 100% tag based. Next, Bean 2. In that also. emp.jsp. Now, this is only emp.jsp. Bean.jsp. See, every line tag appears, you know. So recently, when action you have seen, that is tag type appears. But basic programs, what are the programs you studied? JSP basics. Here, many programs, it appears like a normal Java style. See, it is normal Java style appears. It doesn't appear like a tags. Now, when I started actions, from actions onwards, maximum tag type appears. But the scripting elements, scriptlets, declarations, expressions, that is only appears like a Java. Okay. That is, you can replace with these concepts. So JSP-EL, it is alternative to expressions. JSTL, alternative to declarations and scriptlets. That purpose. So these are alternative, that's it. Next, write it. JSP-EL is an alternative to JSP expressions. JSTL is an alternative to declarations and scriptlets. JSP-EL is an alternative to expressions. JSTL is an alternative to declarations and scriptlets. JSPEL is an alternative to expressions. JSTL is an alternative to declarations and scriptlets. So scriptlets, declarations, you can replace with the JSTL. Expressions, you can replace with expression language. You studied already scriptlets, declaration, expression. These three you studied. In these three, which one we used maximum? Scriptlets or declarations or expression? Scriptlets. Maximum scriptlets only we used. Next, declaration. Next, expression usage is very less. Very less. So JSP expression language equal to expression. That's it. Okay. Maximum scriptlets we used. Next, declaration. Last, expressions. Now, wherever expression is there, that is you can replace with expression language. That's it. Next, write it. How to identify expression? You already know. This is called expression. Okay. But expression language, how to identify? Note the pattern that identifies JSP expression language is dollar symbol, open brace, close brace. The pattern that identifies JSP expression language is dollar, open, close. The pattern that identifies JSP expression language is dollar, open, close. The pattern that identifies ASP expression language is dollar, open brace, close brace. So in a JSP program, dollar symbol, open brace, close brace appears, no? Then you can understand that is expression language. By default, JSP expression language enabled in JSP. By default, JSP expression language enabled in JSP. To disable expression language, JSP expression language, to disable JSP expression language, use the following. You already studied. One attribute I given in page directive to disable. In a page directive I given is EL ignored equal to true. Then ignored. This is already explained. To disable JSP expression language, use the following. Is expression language ignored? By default, false. Ignored false. Ignored false means enabled. Ignored true means disabled. Now by default, that is enabled. To disable, use this. Now here, is EL ignored? Yes, true. Ignored. That doesn't work. That means disabled. By default, enabled. By default, JSP expression language works. If you don't want, you remove this. You write this one. Okay. In expression, previous programs you studied like this. Counting number of views. Count plus plus. We written operator. As well as while displaying table format. I we printed. 5 into I we printed. Like this, you have seen, no? That means operators we used. Generally, in expressions, what we'll use? Operators only will use. The operator style changed here. So just note down. Operator style changed here. Operator meaning. Operator meaning. First one plus, it is no change as it is. Plus only you write. Addition. Addition, subtraction, multiplication not changed. Same style. Subtraction, multiplication. These three as it is. Instead of writing division, div word you can write. Instead of writing modulo division symbol, MOD you can write. Modulo division. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo division. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo division. See, arithmetic operators, 5 operators. Instead of slash, you can write div. Instead of percentile, MOD. New style. Next, less than, LT. Greater than, GT. Less than or equal to, LE. Greater than or equal to, GE. So, new style. Now, instead of writing symbols, you can write words. Instead of writing symbols, you can write words. Equals to, not equals to. And or not. These all changed. So instead of writing symbols, words you can write. So division, instead of symbol div, modulo division MOD, less than LT, greater than GT, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to, and or not. These all you can write. Instead of symbols, we can write words. Is it over? See, and the two pattern is different. Less than percentile equal to be written. at the time. Now dollar open brace, close brace. See, I'll show you. Here already we written JSP programs here. Now in JSP, right click, new JSP. Suppose something expression dot JSP. Next, finish. Here you observe dollar open brace 10 plus 2 are written. It is expression language. If you want to write normal expression, you have to write like this. Okay. Like this we can write here. Again, dollar open brace 10 minus 2 like this. Dollar 10 multiplication 2. Next dollar. Here instead of this you can go for this 10 div 2 like this you can write. Here 10 mod modular division. See, you can write 10 greater than 2. 10 equals 2. That is you can write. Next line, if you want to print the result, BR. Line break. Here, you can add colors. Now, if I execute this program, you observe by default enabled. It works. Right click, run as, run on server. See, expression dot JSP. See, 10 plus 2, 12. 10 minus 2, 8. 10 into 2, 20. 10 by 2, 5. 10 modular division. 2 5s are 10, 0. Modular, true, greater than, equals, false. That is you are getting. Now, if I write this line, what will be happen? Give me answer. Page is expression language ignored. It is disabled as it is printed. Okay, as it is printed. It is expression language doesn't work now. See, output as it is printed. That is disabled. That is not working. Okay. Write this one. This is I'll remove. By default enabled. Is it over? Here 10 plus 2, 12 printed, 10 minus 2, 8 printed, here 5.0 printed, here 20 printed, here 5.0, here 0, it is true, it is false. Okay. This is expression language. Now, in this also, some predefined objects, implicit object references are there. JSP, EL, implicit object references. Here, 7 object references are there. First one, page scope, S capital. Second one, request scope, S capital. Third one, session scope, S capital. Fourth one, application scope. In the bean, I didn't explain about this scope. That I'll explain here. Next, param, init param, cookie. So, 7 object references are there. 7 object references. Page scope, request scope, session scope, application scope, param, init param, cookie. First of all, these 4 I'll explain. You have seen use bin. In the use bin, scope attribute I given. Scope attribute value. Scope attribute value, page, request, session, application. That one, this one, same style. I'll explain here. First one, page scope. It is used to retrieve page scope attributes. Same style, request scope. It is used to retrieve request scope attributes. One minute. It is used to retrieve request scope attributes. Third one, what is the difference? I have to explain. What is the difference between page scope, request scope, session scope? I have to explain. It is used to retrieve session scope attributes. As it is. Application scope. It is used to retrieve application scope attributes. First one, page scope. It is used to retrieve page scope attributes. Same meaning. Request scope attributes. Session scope attributes. Application scope. Here you observe these 7 only in the expression language we can use. This 7. JSP, EL, implicit object reference, page scope, request scope, session scope, application scope, param, init, param, cookie. First these four, one type, same type only. That's what first these four. Page scope for retrieving page scope attribute. Request scope, request scope. What is the difference? I have to explain. What is the difference? I have to explain. But how to set the attribute with value and scope, I'll explain first. After that, difference I'll explain. See, here attributes nothing but just like a data, variables, variable value, that type. Like instance, suppose in core Java, you studied class demo. Here, integer a equal to 10. Private integer b equal to 20. Protected integer c equal to 30. Public integer d equal to 40. These four variables, which type of variables? These all are instance variable. Okay, but access modifier different. That means scope different. This variable scope is this variable within the package. This variable scope within the class. This variable within a package, outside the package also, if it is subclass. Okay, public anywhere, no restriction. Okay, see, this scope is limited to package only. This scope is limited to class only. This scope limited to package and subclass. This scope not limited anywhere, no restriction. But all are instance variable, but accessing different. Like that only. Here attribute scope we can set. Once if you set, that attribute scope is different. Page scope, request scope, session scope, application scope. What's the difference? I'll explain. I'll explain with a diagram. First, how to set the attribute, I'll show you. Here, jakarta.solid.jsp.jsp context. One class is there. This is JSP library. We cannot access. Path required. Okay, this path only to see the library, not for programming. Solid -API is there, no? Like that only JSP -API will be there. See, this is JSP -API. It is solid -API. It is not for program purpose, only to see. If you want to see, required. Now here, JSP context one class is there. In that class, method is there. This one. Write this one. It is used to set the attribute with value and scope. Name, value, scope. Name of the attribute. Value of the attribute. Scope of the attribute. Name of the attribute, value of the attribute, scope of the attribute. It is used to set attribute with value and scope. So here attribute name nothing but it's just like a variable name. Attribute value nothing but literal value type. Scope access modifier type. So integer x equal to 10 will write. It is integer type. It is integer x equal to 10 will write no. That is x variable type. Here value 10 type. This is private, protected, public, that type. I'll explain. With a diagram, I'll explain. Name of the attribute you have to pass. Value of the attribute you can pass. Scope of the attribute you can pass. But name of the attribute, which type? String only you can write. Here name of the value of the attribute. Can I pass employee object? Yes, any class you can pass. Object is super class, no? Scope is integer type. This scope already mentioned. That is, I'll show you. Here, JSP context. This is JSP context method. One more page context is there. Here attributes are there. Scope is there. So one JSP you can write variable, you can access in another JSP, that purpose. No doubt. 1 minute, 1 minute, online students. This one, no done. Now, is it visible? Okay, continue. Page context, page underscore scope, request underscore scope. These are public static final integers. Public static final integers. Say page context. In page context, these all variables. These all page underscore scope request. This is a variable name. Which type? See, int type. Int. Okay. These all instance variables or class variables or local variable. Class variables. You have to call with class name. Page context dot page underscore scope. Page context dot request underscore scope. See. This is also write it. I'll explain. JSP context. Okay, 1 minute. You write this one also. Jakarta dot Saulet dot JSP dot JSP context is a superclass. Jakarta dot Saulet dot JSP dot page context is a subclass. Jakarta dot Saulet dot JSP dot JSP context is a superclass. Jakarta dot Saulet dot JSP dot page context is a subclass. Now JSP context is superclass, page context is subclass. Just now method I given. Method. What is the method name? Method name is set attribute. So set attribute. But set attribute method, instance method or class method? See the notes. Set attribute method, instance method or class method? Instance method, no? There is no static. Instance method. It is a method in which class? This method in which class? JSP context. Using page context object reference. Can I call this one? Page context reference already present. 9 objects are given starting. 9 object references. Their page context. See, you studied 9 object references, not this 7. Starting I given 9. In that 9, page context is there no? P small letter. Page context dot set attribute. Can I call? Can I call? Now set attribute method in which class? JSP context. This reference, which class reference? Page context. Using subclass reference superclass method, can I call? Yes. Here, suppose name, message, value, welcome, comma, which type it will take scope? Integer type. Just now I given in the page context 4 variables. 4 variable integer type only, no? Those variables are instance variables or class variable. With class name you have to call. What we have tried? Page context dot page underscore scope. Like this we can write now. Now you observe. Now this is no need to write. I'll give program only. Page context. What is this? P capital letter is class. P small letter. Object reference. Page context is a object reference of this class. Page context class. Starting a given 9. Out, request, response, session. These are given there. Page context. This page context is a reference of page context. Set attribute. It is a method of JSP context. Okay. Now it is subclass reference. It is superclass method. Using subclass reference superclass method, you can access parameter, 3 parameter, string type, message, value, object type. Object place, can I pass string? Yes or no? How it is valid? String is a subclass of object class, upcasting, valid. Here integer parameter. Page underscore scope is integer only, no? It is integer variable. Integer variable. Is it instance variable or class variable? That's what class name. Like this, we can set. This one, if you want to retrieve, page scope, object reference required. Like this, request scope, if you set, request scope attribute required. Okay. This is program only, I'll give. This is no need to write. Now, first, it is superclass, it is subclass. Okay. It is superclass, it is subclass. Now, this class method is there, this class reference is there. What is the method of this class? Set attribute. It is a reference of this class, page contact. With that, we have to call. Okay. That is, I'll explain tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll explain. Okay. Online students, 1 week it will take, 1 week. Any doubt? 1 minute. Online students. Madhu. HTTP solid build path not found. How to solve? Like I think you selected tools. You select dynamic web project. Seychelles. That is maybe your program mistake only. Chandrasekhar, 4:30 p.m. 4 o'clock advanced Java, Solid's introduction started. Solid's first program, second program completed. Vaishali, this scroll, okay, that notes you want. Okay, this is JSP-EL implicit object references. These all. Rajesh, expression.jsp code. This is expression.jsp code. Roshan, JSTL database I'll explain. JSTL database. Already one database program I explained. No? Here JSTL database I'll explain. Madhu, that is, I think you selected tools. Chandrasekhar, contact admin only. Parvesh, yes, applets are outdated. Kader, MVC pattern I'll explain at last. Applets are not important, Parvesh. Okay, we'll see continuation tomorrow.